Hello friends, welcome to today's video in which I will try to summarize my learnings from these past couple of days, because me and my housemate Antonio, we went up to Ahmed in the east of Bali and we did a freediving course, the level 1 course. And for those of you who don't really know what freediving is, basically you practice diving on one breath. And on day 1 we practiced a lot of static breath holding in the pool after learning a lot of theory, and we both, me and Antonio both managed to hold our breath for 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Pretty crazy, right? So we had a tie there. After that, you practice diving horizontally in the pool on one breath. And on day 2, we went into the open ocean and practiced diving down on one breath to 15 or 20 meters. And wow, what an experience. I had already done level 1 5 years ago, 2012, in Koh Tao in Thailand. And I was so fascinated by it that I decided I wanted to do it again. Yeah, we went up to Ahmed and it was a beautiful experience once again. I'd love to do level 2 at some stage soon. And yeah, there were quite a few things that I feel like freediving compares to real life, or things that I learned that were just really beautiful and that I'd like to share with you in this video today before I forget. So I'm doing it today, the day after. I was gonna do it last night when I got home, but if you watched yesterday's video, I linked it up here, you know that I was completely dead. Alright, so the first thing that is so beautiful about freediving, and which is why I love it so much, is that you do a lot of breathing exercises to prepare your body to then take that last breath to take you down. Those breathing exercises, they slow down everything. So basically what you do is you take a breath in to your diaphragm and up here in your chest, and then you very slowly breathe out. It's kind of like and on and on and on. And you do this for several minutes. Doing breathing exercises in general, I love pranayama. And as you already know, I'm a big fan of meditation. I like to slow things down and really focus on what's really essential and the most important thing, which is right now, this moment, and our breath allows us to do that. You really have to relax your body fully as you're doing these breathing exercises when you're in the pool or when you're out in the open sea, and you just completely let everything relax and you're floating on the surface doing your breathing, and it's just so beautiful. And also learning that the more you relax, the longer you can hold your breath, the further you can go down. The second you start to tense up is when your body uses up energy, and then you lose that performance. And so for me, freediving is really a very meditative experience, one that brings you so much closer to your body, into your body, and I can just recommend for everyone to do it and try it out, because it's kind of bringing meditation and pranayama and water, being in the water, my favorite element, it brings all of that together. So yeah, that was a big one. Now the second thing was that both Antonio and I are relatively competitive people. Our personalities are kind of wired that way. I grew up in a relatively competitive environment with a dad, and I always had to do a lot of sports, and then I had 2 little brothers, and so there were the 2 of us, and we both always wanted to beat the other. And in the end what happens is we had a lot of fun doing that. There was nothing too serious about it, but you really stress yourself out. in the end, you know? You push yourself to a point where there is no point in pushing. Instead of just letting it go and just not caring who's better or worse, and just kind of, because it's all about the ego, right? Your ego wants to be better, your ego wants to win. And realizing, for one, there's nothing to win, there's no gold medal here between Antonio and I. And also knowing that, or realizing that it just doesn't matter. It's just for me and my own experience. And then in general in life, especially in business also, you know, when, like me, I'm a vlogger, I'm a blogger, I'm all over social media, and you can see everybody else's fan count and subscriber count and how many likes and how many views, and you get stuck on that, and it stresses you out. It stressed me out for sure a lot in the past. And also then realizing over and over again that it's not the point why I'm doing this. That element of competition was not the point of doing the freediving course. The experience went much deeper than who's gonna win this, who can hold their breath longer, who can dive down longer. And the same goes for what I do, and constantly reminding yourself to detach from the outcome. You know, a lot of times when I make these videos, of course I want a lot of people to click on them and watch them and comment and like, so that I get confirmed that I'm a good YouTuber, that I'm a good human being, and that I'm loved and that I'm worthy. But constantly reminding myself that that's not why I'm doing this. Constantly reaffirming my own why. But if you want to know who won our freediving competition, nobody did. I swear to God, we tied on all the different things we had to do on the breath hold, 2 minutes and 44, both of us. And then we also tied on the depth that we went down. I couldn't get past 15 meters. He couldn't get past 15 meters. For me, it was mostly my ears. I think for him it was a mixture of things. Yeah, nobody won. The competition was completely useless. So I found that to be awesome. Also, we had a little theory test, and we also tied on that one. We both had 2 questions wrong. So there you go. In addition to this, it was also a good reminder to be kind to myself, because when you're in competition, you're always comparing yourself to somebody else and their performance. But in the end, you know, I did super well these last couple of days. I had so much fun. I dove down to 15 meters, held my breath for 2 minutes and 44 seconds. I mean, that's amazing. And to be kind to myself, and instead of comparing myself or pushing myself harder, no, I want to do longer and I want to do deeper, be like, nah, Connie, you're amazing. You did amazing. I'm super proud of you. There's no need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You can totally come back into your feminine energy and just flow with it and have fun. And the third thing is also a very important one that I'd like to make an extra video about generally. Because freediving is definitely about getting comfortable with discomfort. Because if you were to hold your breath right now, and you can try and do that, one of the first things that you will notice is a discomfort, right? Because we have this urge to breathe, which is a good thing in general. But as you do breath hold, for one, it generally gets uncomfortable, but then there's also pain coming up around your diaphragm, and especially when you're underwater, you're also under pressure. And so you have to get used to feeling uncomfortable and knowing that it's okay to feel uncomfortable, that you can keep going further and further, and that in that discomfort lies your biggest growth. That in itself is such a huge learning that I had in life in these last few years, is when things are uncomfortable. I'm not saying they need to be super painful, but to the point where you're stretching your comfort zone, you're stretching that zone of where you usually would stop, but then you keep going. And this applies to personal growth in general, it applies to business, it applies to my health. Like right now, I started today on day 1 of my juice cleanse. For many people that's super uncomfortable. And I thought first I'm gonna do 3 days, and then I was like, no. How about I do 6 days and feel a little bit more uncomfortable for 6 days without eating. And also exercising in the mornings when I get out of bed. I don't always want to get out of bed and go to yoga or go swimming or running or surfing or whatever. And yet, pushing through that discomfort of, I really don't want to, and yet doing it anyway. Or when I am running or swimming and after 20 minutes, I'm like, God, I don't want to do this. Or even just sometimes after 5 minutes. To keep going, to push through this discomfort. And getting used to the feeling of feeling uncomfortable. That's a huge one. And man, freediving is, yeah, getting used to that discomfort of wanting to breathe, that's a big one, but it's so important. And lastly, definitely one of the biggest lessons in freediving, but generally in life, I've realized anyway, is that you can go way, way, way further than you think. So this weekend, and Antonio had never done freediving, it was his first time. And when he reached 2 minutes and 44, he was just like, oh my God. I held my breath for almost 3 minutes. That's crazy. He never thought he'd be able to do that. Or diving down to 15 or 20 meters, it's like, wow, you just generally wouldn't think you were able to do that, you know? I definitely pushed my limits to 2 minutes and 44. And compared to 5 years ago, I think I couldn't hold it that long back then. And it's just funny how we can surprise ourselves in moments in life where we think this is what we're capable of, but we're actually capable of so much more. And, you know, when I think back in my life anyway, there have been so many moments where I would be like, yeah, that's all I'm capable of. This is where my limit is. But our limits are much further. I had no idea I could grow like this as a person 5 or 6 years ago. I had no idea I could sit my ass down and make videos regularly. That is just, wow, you know? If you told me that a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. I ain't making a video every day and put that on YouTube. Are you kidding? Or vulnerability. You know, it's been a really big thing making myself vulnerable in public on social media for the past year, or longer, but like properly for the past year. I had no idea I could make myself this vulnerable in front of so many people in public, in front of people that don't know me. I don't know, I could cry on camera and publish that, or I had, you know, with so many things that I've achieved in life, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I never thought I had it in me back then when I started 6 years ago. And here I am today making money online and being all over social media. And it's just, you know, whatever you think you can't do, you must. It's something that Tony Robbins says. And that holds so true to my life anyway. Where I'm like, when I think I can't do something, oh man, that's exactly where I need to go. So yeah, those are my learnings from the last couple of days. It's funny how we do different things in life, like freediving or surfing, or, you know, and then you have these learnings and you're like, yeah, wow, it's just like in life when this and that happens. And so I really felt like I wanted to share this experience with you, and there will be a video about the actual experience, more visual, so that you can see what we did. And yeah, so I hope you got something out of this video. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Maybe you've done freediving, or what have you learned in other areas of life or sports or whatever that you can apply to your daily life or business or whatever. I'd love to know. Or maybe any other any other connection that you feel like to my learnings that I just shared. And I'll see you in the next video. Alright, cool. Mwah. Bye.